Okay, thank you again for being here. I am Dr. Claudia Morales, and currently I work for Texas AFT. I support professional development, work with Jamie Womack Williams. Um, and Dr. Welch, like she said, will be helping us today, answering questions in the chat, helping us with links and all those things. So this presentation will be posted in the Bridges Institute YouTube channel, just so that you know that you'll have access later. A little bit about me. So I have been in education for 25 years, worked in the Houston area public school system for about 21 years, and have done all different roles. I've been a principal, assistant principal, coordinator, test coordinator, special education chair, and of course, bilingual teacher, which was the role that I served in for 16 years. So welcome again. I will tell you, I do not have a national board certification, but a few years ago, Jamie and I went to Utah, Salt Lake, and did a facilitator training on national board. And what I do is the information sessions. So the information session that you're going to get today is basic information on what national board is and how to get started. So that's part of my background. Okay, let's move on. So I work for Texas AFT, and as you can see, Texas AFT has a lot of members. This slide says 1.7 million, but Monday, when I was in a meeting, Randy said that we had grown to 1.8 million. So I need to update that. So we're very proud. And I do want you to think about this, because a lot of times when we're out in the field, we feel pretty lonely, like we're fighting this battle all on our own. But I want you to know that you're not alone. There's a lot of people standing with you and behind you and supporting you. So keep that in mind when any issues or when any concerns arise. Who does Texas AFT represent? And they represent teachers, counselors, librarians, custodians, cafeteria workers, pretty much everyone who doesn't have a position, a supervisor position, or a position where they evaluate teachers, or any other types of members. So you can be assured that there are no conflicts of interest, because we do represent, or Texas AFT represents, all the educators out there, or public school employees, and also nurses in the healthcare field. Okay, so today's information comes from the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. I work pretty closely with their Texas team to put this presentation together for you. So we will begin now. I just want to review a few norms. I just have 3. And one is be attentive, use the mute button, so that we can prevent the background noise, because we're recording this session, and be respectful. And what I mean by that is, I'm sure everybody has their idea, but what I mean is, if you hear a comment from someone that you do not agree with, that is totally okay, as long as we're polite and respectful when we address or answer to the things we don't agree with. That is totally okay. And then I'll tell you that last time someone was using their annotation tool in Zoom while we were recording. So I'll ask you to please not do that, because we're recording. So if there's anything on the screen, is going to be recorded and maybe not interfere with the slide. But if you want to use the tool, I will stay after this session, and you're gonna be free to use it if that's what you want to do. So thank you so much, and we'll go to the next slide. So I told you a little bit about me, and my colleagues introduced themselves, and we would like to know about you. So take just a moment to type in your name in the chat, the district or school, the district and school that you work at, and your grade level and department. When the meeting is over, I usually go back and see who was in the room. So please take a moment to do that. Okay, thank you. You may continue to do that if you are not done already. And thank you for sharing with us today. So the session objectives, we want to provide an overview of National Board certification, and also talk about how it benefits you, the teacher, and how it benefits learners. We want to also share information about the Texas Teacher Incentive Allotment, TIA, which I'm sure some of you may have already heard about, and also highlight some valuable resources that can support you in your district. Texas is working a lot on growing the number of national board certified teachers because I am sure you know that there aren't many out there. This session, like I said earlier, will be recorded and it will be posted on the Texas AFT Bridges Institute YouTube channel, just in case you want to go back to anything we discussed today, or if you know someone that couldn't make it and want to see it later, they may access it from there. So this is our agenda. We're going to talk about what National Board Certification is. We're going to talk about TIA, or Teacher Incentive Allotment, and National Board Certification, because those two can go hand in hand. Seizing the opportunity provided for teachers through TIA. We're going to talk about how to get started, and we're going to share some resources. At the end of the session, it is my hope that I'll be able to answer all your questions, but if not, I will definitely take those, and I have a meeting with the Texas team from National Board, and I can ask them directly, and we'll definitely get back with you. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get started about National Board Certification. What is National Board Certification? We are glad you asked. So I will share with you a short video so that you can hear from a teacher and what she thinks about the National Board Certification. So let me make sure that I am sharing sound. Give me 1 second. Okay. If you cannot hear it, please let me know. Can everyone hear it? Dr. Welch, can you hear it?
No, it's
okay.
not
All right. Let me check settings. Thank you for your patience. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if we okay, the settings that is sharing sound. Let me try once again.
Yes, we could hear it.
Thank you.
I want to take myself to another level. I have this thing in my room where I tell the kids, take it to the wall. So we'll go over whatever lesson, and they can tell me whether I made the lesson relevant to them. When I write my lesson plan or when I grade papers, I like to give my students descriptive feedback, but I also give myself descriptive feedback. I ask my students to evaluate me. Every day I'm always asking myself, what is it that I did yesterday that I can do better today? I check myself before I come in the classroom. I really appreciate the National Board certification process because it kept me from burning out. My purpose here on earth is to connect with someone so we can exchange ideas and learn from each other. I grow from it, so in return, I want you to get something out of it. What I want to do now is pull you forward. Now we're going to look at our reflection. National Board certification process is a journey that you take within yourself to identify all the key components that it takes to make you a great teacher. And I guarantee you, I promise you, once the process starts, you won't be able to stop. is going to make you a better person. That's going to make you a better teacher. That's going to make you feel proud of what you do. You know you've met the highest standards. You know that you've done everything you possibly can to put yourself in a position and say, here I am, I'm ready to change as a teacher to go to the next level.
Okay. Did you hear anything interesting in this video? You may unmute and answer, or you may type it in the chat. What did you hear that was interesting? Or did you hear anything that you can relate to? Let's see. Coach Sanders, I'm sorry, we couldn't hear you. Okay, sorry, I think you are muted, but don't worry, it's okay. Anyone else?
April says a lot.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Is that Marlena?
It is.
Hi, yes, we can.
Hi. One of the things that I resonated with was the idea of not only giving our students feedback, but asking for their feedback as well. I make it, I'm intentional every year to find out, you know, what my students like in the classroom, what they think is valuable, if they like certain activities. And so I think it's important that we do that to try to motivate them and keep them engaged. So I really like that part about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think someone else wanted to say something. Anyone else? Okay, and I see some comments in the chat. Let me go to there. Okay. Allowing students to give feedback. Yes, thank you. I see a question. Yes, this session will cover some of those things that you mentioned, Mandy. Okay, well, thank you so much. Let's go back to the presentation. Let me. Okay, so here we are. So what is National Board exactly? It is a voluntary process, meaning that you do not have to do this. You can be a teacher without having a National Board certification. As long as you have your state certification, you should be okay. But this, when you go through the National Board process, is like when doctors become specialists. For example, you can go to the general medicine doctor, or you can go to the pediatrician, or you can go to the dermatologist. So through this process, teachers become specialists, very similar to how medical doctors become specialists. The National Board is composed of teachers. So teachers are the ones that create the materials and decide what teachers should know and be able to do. And one of the things that resonate with me from the video is that it talks about retaining teachers and how it helps teachers not be burned out, because I don't know about you, but I remember many years where I felt like I just couldn't do another year. Some years were very difficult. And through this process, you learn those strategies where you can persevere. So the 5 core props, I want you to look at the words that are highlighted on this slide. Are committed, know the subjects, student learning, think systematically, and members of learning communities. Now take a look and think about what you have been doing through the years that you have been teaching. Are you already doing some of these things? Give me thumbs up if you are already doing maybe one, maybe more, maybe all of these things. Yeah, I can see some of you. When I talk to teachers about National Board, they usually tell me that they feel that they are doing all these things already, so why not move forward and make it official and get recognized for all the hard and expert work that they do, for their expertise. So that is what we're going to focus on today. The certification process. So there are 25 certificate areas, and we're going to look at those in the next slide. But each certificate is composed of 4 components. So in order to get the certification in a certain area, this is what you have to complete. If you notice, component 1 is the only one that is an assessment that you go into to take with a computer. So it's kind of like a standardized test. But the other ones, component 2, 3, and 4, those are portfolio based. So in these ones, you're going to be collecting the work of your students. You're going to be writing about, the experiences, how you plan, all those things, and those are going to become your portfolio. Okay, so in the chat, Dr. Welch will share the link to the certification areas. Once you can access the document, take a moment to review the categories and then find one that interests you. Probably some of you here may already know what certification you want to pursue. Does anyone already know, and would you like to share?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mandy. I am currently pursuing early middle childhood literacy, reading language arts.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay, did everyone was able to get the link to the certification areas? Okay, hoping that is a yes. So if you have not decided already, that is okay. You don't have to decide today, of course. I just want you to start thinking about what would be the area that you would pursue. Because when I saw the certifications, there are so many that I would be interested in, right? So, so like I said, you don't have to choose anything right now, but just start thinking about what you would like to do. So awesome. Okay, so what we will do next is you're going to get another link that will take you to the choosing the right certificate reference guide. So once you get the reference guide in the chat, make sure that you click on it, open it, of course, and go and find the certification you're interested in and start thinking about why is this certification right for you. And when you are ready, please go to the Padlet. You can scan the code on the slide. And if you have trouble with that, just put it in the chat, and Dr. Welch will share the link that will take you to that Padlet. If you have any questions at this time, please let me know. Okay, if there are no questions, I'll give you a moment to review. Okay, so now I'll stop sharing and I will pull the Padlet up and see your post. Okay, I see one post. CTE or English Language Arts. Okay. Wow, math. Awesome. Does anyone want to share why that certification is right for them? Okay, thank you. EMC, LRLA. Okay, you thought literacy. Yes, wonderful. Does anybody want to share why that certification is right for them? Oh, okay. Theater English teacher, how fun. Awesome. Social studies. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And remember, if you're not sure yet, that's totally okay. It does take some time to decide, for you to decide. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Wonderful. So, like I said, if you at this time are not sure or do not know for certain, that is why we're sharing these links with you so that you can take some time to review those and see if you want to change your mind or if you're still interested in that certification. The candidate journey. So do not worry about this link right now. We're going to be sharing all the links at the end of the session in a one pager. That way you know where everything is and it'll be easy to access. But one of the links, the Guide to National Board Certification has important dates. And those dates are all about when you have to apply, by when you have to register. So we're gonna share all those links with you so that you know where to go. And then the timeline, that is unique to everyone because some people can complete the national board certification in 1 year, and some people decide to take 3 years to complete it. I know that when national board started, that wasn't an option. Everybody had to complete it in 1 year, and people found that very challenging. These days, you have up to 3 years to complete, and I know it's not on this slide, but I have heard from National Board that they do accommodate people, sometimes life happens, that may need more than 3 years. So they are very supportive. So that's something good to know. Also, it is important that while you're pursuing National Board certification, you're either part of a cohort or you work with a professional learning facilitator or both. And we're going to talk about where you can find a PLF that can help you through the process as you complete your components. So national board impact. So according to research, teachers make changes to the way that they teach once they become a national board certified teacher. I know that it actually starts as soon as you begin working on your components. So these are some of the major things that they have noted that teachers do. They adjust lesson plans. They have more knowledge. They gain deeper knowledge in content areas and use data in new ways to assess student progress. So these are just some of the things that were highlighted, but there are the impact is pretty vast, and we have a brief. So Dr. Welch, will you please share the impact brief in the chat? So once you get this document, I will ask you to open it and just look at the impact of National Board certified teachers. And I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. And then we'll get back together. If you have any issues accessing it, please let us know. And this is what everybody should have received in the chat, the proven impact. And these here are several research studies on the impact of National Board Certified Teachers. Again, did anybody see anything that that was impactful or surprising? Okay, I see a comment. It's very easy to do in two years. Dixie, can you tell us more about that? Let's see.
Sorry, I had to unmute.
No worries, you're okay.
So I think that, there's a lot of misinformation going around because it used to be, as you said, you had to do it in 1 year, and that's pretty intense, especially for those of us who have kids or extracurricular responsibilities. It is a lot. It can be done in, 1 year. Those of us who achieve certification, that's how we all did it. However, it is nice that they give you options now. If you plan it out, you can get it done in 9 months in 1 school year. But those of you who are, a little bit hesitant, doing it in 2 years is very, very easy. I definitely wouldn't spread it out over 3 years because you want to get that money in your pocket. In Texas now, the stipend you're going to get is at least $3,000 a year. And every year that you don't have your certification, that's $3,000 you're leaving on the table. So I say, for those of you who haven't done this yet, you need to get going and you need to get it done. It is not as bad as people make it out to be. And I think that we need to have just a rising tide of excellent teachers here in Texas.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Dixie, do you have a national board certification?
Yes, I certified in 2002, recertified
Ooh.
2012, and then I did the maintenance of certification in 2022. So I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, it is awesome. And finally, Texas is putting some money behind it. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for
teachers
telling us
really
that.
need to get going.
May I ask a
Well, I am
question?
so glad I'm so glad you're here because I don't have a national board certification. So I am glad someone that knows and has gone through the process is here. So wonderful. Then you can help me throughout this presentation. Thank you for being here. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And I know that we were also talking about the impact and if there was anything there that surprised you. So I think someone wrote something in the chat. Let me see. The degree of benefit to the student versus non-national board certified teachers. Okay, thank you. How students of national board certified teachers gain 1 to 2 months of additional learning. Definitely. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it. And now that we have someone who's an expert here, it'll be wonderful, even better. Let's go back to our presentation now. Okay, so we kind of learned a little bit about the impact. We're excited about learning that not only do you affect learning for your students, but you will also improve your skills as a teacher and be compensated for doing all these things. It is an exciting process. It's an exciting thing to think about. So what we're going to do next is look at the what book. The links are going to be in the chat and we have 2 different links. One link is to access the book in the what book in Spanish, and one link will be to access it in English. Is someone here thinking about pursuing a national board certification on anything related to languages? Okay, I was just wondering. Okay, thank you so much. So we have both links, so you may use the one that that you need. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to take some time to look at the what book. If you already have seen the book, you may start the discussion. That's totally okay. And this is what you will be talking about in your chat room or your breakout room. You will discuss what should teachers know and be able to do. Is your idea of, what teachers should know the same as the what book? And then what do you think about the key aspects of accomplished teaching practice? Meaning, so when you think about accomplished teaching, what comes to your mind? We're going to take, let's see, 6 or 7. So we're going to take about 15 minutes to give everybody time to, meet and greet each other, because this is also networking. That's so important if you're going to move forward. And then also talk about these questions and anything else you think that may be appropriate. And then after 15 minutes, we're going to come back all together to the main group and we're going to discuss. So before we go into our breakout rooms, I want to make sure that everyone has access to the what book. Let me make sure it's in the chat now. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Welch. Someone is interested in Spanish. Fantastic. So Dr. Welch, can you share the links to the what book? Please, thank you.
They're in the chat. They are in the
They are? Okay, thank you so much. So is anyone having any issues? Please let us know before we send you off. Okay, so I'll set my timer for 15 minutes. I will send a notice about 2 minutes before so that you can know when we're going to get back together. So if we are ready, we can go to the breakout rooms, and we have, 18 people. So what do you think about 3 to 4 people in each group, Dr. Welch? Is that okay?
I set them up already, and I
Oh.
opened.
Okay, you're too fast.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Welch. It's going really smoothly today. So I will be jumping into the rooms to see, if they have any questions, or, make sure that they have what they need. So let me know if you need anything, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Hi, Marlena. We are in groups looking over over the what book, and I'll put it in the chat so you can get a copy of it. And I'll place you in a group, okay? Just choose which one you need from the chat.
Okay, I'm driving, so I'm not able to really navigate and read the books and everything. But I'm looking forward to when I get home being able to go online. I know you guys are going to post it. I'd ask, where are you guys going to post it again for us to go and access it?
There will be an email that comes out at the end with the certificate and everything for
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Welcome back. I think everyone is here now. Yes, I think everyone is here. Does anybody want to share? What did you talk about? Yes, Tammy. You can't unmute? Okay, no worries. Let us know as soon as you can, no problem. You can also type it in the chat if you're having issues. Anybody else? What did you think about the What book?
I unmuted now, sorry.
Yes, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I am really excited as to how, for me, how much this is going to benefit me as a teacher who's been teaching for a while.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think this is going to be a fairly easy process, so I'm excited about that. And we're going for 1 year, so
That is brave and that is wonderful. Good for you. Good for you. I think, like we said, it's different for everyone, right? Some of us need more time, but if, I'm pretty sure it can be done if you set your mind to it and you block your time and plan appropriately. Yeah, definitely. Anyone else? Did anyone access the book in Spanish? I want to hear your thoughts if you did. Any other comments before we move on? And I'm working on my wait time because for some reason when you're on Zoom, times feels a little longer. I don't know about you, but that's how it feels to me. Okay, any other comments? If not, if you can think of something later, that is quite okay. We can definitely talk about that. Okay. So hopefully you had a chance to meet some new people, other educators interested in becoming national board certified. And one of the reasons why we like to do these info sessions is to, start those networks because it is so important to have someone to talk to and someone that can help you out through this process. Like every process, having support is always very important. So if you can think of anything later, feel free to share it when we get to the Q&A part. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts.
Rebecca,
Now,
Rebecca
sorry.
did say that the Spanish is the same as the English one.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Is that in the chat? Okay, I see it now. Okay, wonderful. I'm glad you, yes, it is the same. And it is my understanding that the process is still the same. So it's just the language that's different. Thank you so much for that observation. And thank you for taking a look at it as well. Let's see. Now we're going to move to the next section, which is talking about the teacher incentive allotment, or TIA, which is the section that talks about money. And I was trying to expand my screen, and for some reason, my computer's not letting me. Let me see full screen, maybe now. Yes. Okay. So teacher incentive allotment. This information comes from the Texas Education Agency, and we're going to be sure we share the links to this website so that when you have some time, you can browse through that one as well. So the TIA theory in action, and Dixie was talking about this in one of the breakout rooms when I visited. The main purpose of the teacher incentive allotment, and also recognizing national board teachers, is so that Texas can retain teachers that are accomplished. They want effective educators. Not only do they want to attract them to apply and become teachers, but they want teachers to stay in those teaching positions. So the teacher incentive allotment is one of the ways the state of Texas is trying to do this, as well as helping educators become effective and accomplished. And I hear from a lot of teachers that the National Board teacher certification process is one of the best professional development sessions that they have attended. Just as our AFTPD, of course. Okay, so some key points. Districts can choose to develop their own local designation system and designate high-performing teachers. And they can have master teachers, exemplary teachers, or recognized teachers. Districts receive additional funding for every teacher that has a designation. They receive more funding for teachers that work in rural areas because those campuses have a more difficult time in finding qualified educators. 90% of the funds must be used on teacher compensation on the campus where the designated teacher works or teachers work. And then TEA partners with Texas Tech to make sure that they revise those plans that the district creates and approve them to be used in the teacher designation system. So there are two pathways to get a designation. And like we said, designations come with stipends. So one of the ways is becoming a National Board Certified teacher. When you become National Board Certified, you automatically get a designation, a recognized designation. The other option is to go through your local optional teacher designation system. And that is the one that your district creates. So the plans may be different because it's up to the district on how they want to designate their master exemplary teachers. And they also, so they do the whole process. They determine how they will select those teachers and designate them. And it has to be a system that the district approved, but it also has to be approved by TEA and Texas Tech. And they have to go through an extensive application and approval process for that. But again, the National Board Certification is pretty automatic. So school district employees are recognized that have a National Board Certification. Like you heard Dixie say that there is a nice stipend involved. In order for you to get that designation, you have to have a valid Texas teaching certificate. You have to be National Board Certified, and is going to be recognized or valid until the July following the expiration of National Board Certification, which is 5 years, my understanding. And we're going to talk about the recertification process a bit. So one of the questions that we had in the breakout room was, if you're interested in becoming an administrator later, is there a leadership National Board Certification? So at this time, there is no leadership National Board Certification. These certifications are for teachers and in Texas, because this presentation is was prepared for teachers in Texas. It doesn't hurt you if you want to still become an administrator and you become a National Board Certified teacher. It will only help you because, like Dixie said, it will increase your credibility. But not only that, you're going to be very confident when you become that administrator that has to evaluate your peers. From my professional experience, when I became a dean and I had to evaluate teachers, the 16 years when I serve as bilingual teachers were the years that taught me the most, not just the certification process to evaluate other teachers, but that experience. So this kind of works in that way. It will help you. But in order for you to get recognized and get a stipend for it, you have to be assigned to a classroom. So as you can see here, the PIMS roll ID has to be 087 so that you can generate funds for your district, for your campus. Librarians, counselors, and administrators can earn this designation, but they are not going to generate funds, and they are probably not going to get any funds because of their certification. One state in which administrators go through the process of becoming national board is Arizona. They have resources, and I can also share that link for their national board certification website. A lot of their administrators do pursue this certification as well, because it does help again support the teachers, right? It sets a great example for them to be going through the process as well. And here are the amounts of money that you can get with the different designations. So recognize schools and districts can get anywhere up to 3,000 to 9,000. The exemplary designation earns them 6,000 to 18,000, and the master $12,000 to $32,000. So as you can see, it is a nice sum. There is a link in the TA website that allows you to find the campuses, the funding that goes to the campuses that are participating in the designation system. And we do have that link. Dr. Welch will share that with you in the chat as well. And this is just for you to know, because it will help you to see, find your school maybe, or if you're planning to move, it will help you see where those schools are that are getting funds because of these designations, including the national board. Multiple designations are possible. So teachers can get multiple designations. You automatically get a recognized designation if you have a national board certification, but if you also qualify in your district's system, you can also get that the exemplary or master certification and be compensated for that as well. And then the last bullet, so if your national board certification expires first and you have the other designations, you will be recognized until those designations expire, or if national board, or if the other designations expire and you still have national board, you will still be recognized until that national board certification expires. Always the higher designation or the later date will be honored. Some points on teacher compensation, or some things for you to think about. When your district generates, as you saw, the amounts vary. All campuses do not get the same amount because there are many factors that lead TEA and TIA to compensate districts and schools in different ways. 90% of the TIA funds must be spent on teacher compensation on that campus where that teacher works. Now, that doesn't mean that the national board certified teacher will get the 90% of the funds because your campus may decide to spread that money in different ways. But they should have a plan, and it should not be secret. So if, for example, you want to know what the plan is, how they are going to use that money that you generated as a national board certified teacher, they should be able to share the plan with you. If you have any issues, because we have heard in the past that some teachers have issues with that, their school principal or administrators do not want to share that plan, you can always call your union office for help to work through that. But they should share it with you. It should not be a secret. And although all the money doesn't go to you automatically, you should know where it's going, and you should, as the national board certified teacher, you should get most of it. Because you would deserve it, right? So if a designated teacher moves to a new district, the money will follow that teacher to the district. So if you are in a HISD and you move to A-LEAF, that money is going to follow you there. And again, that doesn't mean that you're going to get the same amount of money. Remember that there are a lot of factors that determine those amounts, and also the plan that your campus creates will also affect the amount of money that you get. The other ones we talked about is they need to consider that a local spending plan shouldn't be a secret, and they should have a way to verify how they use those funds. So none of these things or these documents should be hidden. So reimbursement fees. The districts can give teachers a refund before they submit a refund request to TEA or the TIA fund, so they can provide you money before they get it back, but they should get that money back if they apply. With the documentation, the districts can request up to the $1,900 that to cover the initial certification cost. And also someone had the question on the renewal. They should also get refunded for the renewal fee of $1,250 to maintain, in the $495 to maintain the certification. So all these costs your district can get refunded for. So in order to be eligible for the fee reimbursement, this is what the designated teacher must have. So you must have earned your national board certification or renewal in 2019 or later, and have a valid Texas teaching certificate with your recognized designation. And remember that as soon as you become a national board certified teacher, you get that automatic designation. You may have more, but the national board is automatic. And then TA issued the specifics on reimbursements in 2020, and we will have a link for you so you can go and get more information about that as well. And these are some of the websites and links that I was talking about. So at the end of this session, we're going to share with you that page with all the links so that you can go back and browse through them as well. So getting started, I know that some of you, more than 2 of you asked how to get started. So we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So if you want to become a national board certified teacher, the first thing that we recommend you do is you go to the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards, and that link we're going to share with you, all these links we're going to share with you, and you can go to the tab that says Getting Started, and they have very specific step-by-step information on what you need to do. We started already today on looking at the what teachers should know and be able to do. So hopefully in the session you had a bit of time to look through these books, English and Spanish. The information was the same on both of them. It was just the language was the only difference. But hopefully you got to see a lot of that, and you have a better idea now on what the expectations or what you would be working toward. Also become familiar with your content specific standards. This is part of your component 1. What will be tested for that. And then the other suggestion is that you share this information with your colleagues, your principal district, and if possible with your region, like region 4 is for Houston, or your your region where in the place where you live, and ask them to organize a cohort for interested teachers. This is important because if you tell your principals, most principals know that this is something great and it will help them improve their campus, so they will be very supportive. It is important to work with your colleagues because if you can get a couple more teachers interested, you can go through this process in a cohort together. And there's research data that says that when you work with a cohort, you're more successful in attaining your goals. So that is highly suggested. There are monthly webinars that National Board offers that you can sign up for free. And then make sure that you look at all the resources that the Texas National Board Coalition for Teaching has to offer. I am a member. Their fee is only $25 a year. I know Dr. Palacios, who's on their board, and she's like my contact person when I have questions, and I have directed a lot of teachers. I believe, guys, that with $25, they provide you with a lot of support. Like, it doesn't cost you more. And they, like I said, they have a lot of free things. So I highly suggest that you look them up. Very, very useful resource. And this is kind of what we're doing. These are things for leaders, association leaders. So we at the Texas AFT, we care about, our members. We want you to be successful. We believe that through national board certification, not only do you become an expert, a specialist in your content area, in your grade level, your school, but also this puts money in your pocket and it gives you a lot of prestige and respect. So we encourage you to pursue this, and that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. We also want you to know that we are advocating for teachers always. But one of the things that we want to get to is for our dream is for teachers to get the money directly in their pockets instead of being paid to the districts or their schools. It would be ideal if teachers could get this money directly to them, because like we said, if you move to another campus, to another district, those amounts may change and sometimes may not be so beneficial. So just an FYI, those are some of the things that we are working on. So now we're going to talk about the resources that we have today. So I did mention the Texas National Board Coalition. That is their website, txnb.org. So again, make sure you take some time to visit that website. Very important. And you can learn more on this website as well. The Texas Opportunity page, National Board Certified Teacher Directory. That way you can see if there are any teachers in your campus. We're telling teachers that are National Board Certified to make sure that they update their information in their account with National Board, because sometimes that directory is not updated. So just keep that in mind, but should be useful, and hopefully you'll be able to find more than a couple of people that you know in your district, hopefully in your school. And then what teachers should know and be able to do, the 5 core props, make sure that you're very familiar with them. There are, excuse me, there are free Canvas courses for National Board candidates, and we're going to share that link with you. If for some reasons it says that you cannot register, that means that the course may not be open yet, but through these links, you're going to find information and emails on who you can contact at National Board to let them know if those courses do not open soon. And then Atlas is a very good resource for candidates as well. So we're going to share all this with you so that you can have them when you need them. And wonderful. So before we go to questions, I want to share the QR code for the session evaluation. We do want to know what you think. We strive to improve our sessions. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to make this session better. I will appreciate that. So Dr. Welch will also share that link in the chat in case you want to access it later, so that while you're thinking about questions or other people are asking, you can also take some time to complete the evaluation. We really appreciate that. Okay, so now that was the information on the introductory session for today. So I'm going to stop sharing my presentation so that we can talk about your questions.
Claudia, this is Jamie. Coach Sanders, what is your first name? Are you having trouble unmuting yourself? I see you touching your phone like you're trying.
Maybe just give the first 2 names and then maybe.
Let's see.
Oh, she said
Oh,
yes.
it's in the chat. Sharon.
Sharon.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you,
It's
Sharon.
in the chat, Jamie. Okay, friends, any questions or comments?
Hi, Gina
Hi.
Costin. I had a question. I had a question for the lady who is already certified nationally.
Dixie?
Yes, I wanted to know when you go for recertification, is it a test, the same type of test you took before, or is it just hours that you owe, or do you have to pay for it? How is that? I know you have to pay for it, but how is that recertification?
This costs $500, $495. I'm going to round it off to $500. And it is a much abbreviated version of what you did the first time. So the first time you have to submit 2 videos. When you recertify, you only submit 1. And so instead of having 4 components to do, there are only 2 components. And so it's like a miniature version of your initial certification process. But it's once you do it the first time, this is a piece of cake. And I think over 99% of the people who attempt recertification earn it. But you only take the test 1 time. And so you don't have to take another test, but you do have to do a new video in a classroom and write about it again. And so this process is very writing intensive. If you're someone who doesn't like to write essays, it's going to be a tough process. But it's not like a free form essay. You're basically answering questions and you just, write to answer the questions, just like we teach the kids to do for the STAR test. But the recertification, to answer your question, is a miniature version of your initial certification, costs $500, but is reimbursable from the state of Texas.
Is this every year?
No, I'm sorry. You do that every 5 years now.
Okay. Okay, and someone else had another question. I don't know if it was answered because my phone was going off and on. Someone asked, once you was certified, could this take you anywhere nationally? And they felt like you wouldn't have to be certified anywhere else once you're nationally certified. They were asking, okay, if I went to New York, will I still have to have a teacher's certification in New York if I was nationally certified?
Great question, Gina. I want to say 21, but I need to check on that. There are a certain number of states. Let me write that down so I can make sure I give you the right number of states that you would not need to certify there. And I know Hawaii is one. Now, don't you go moving to Hawaii just yet, but I heard that Hawaii is one where you can go with a national board certification and you don't have to get their state certification. So not all of them, but a lot of them do. And I know that information is on the website. So that is a link that I don't have in the link page that we're going to share with you, but I will definitely look for that. I usually send a follow-up email and I'll make sure to include that one in there. And I think California is another one.
Oh, that's my state.
But don't you go running over there. Okay, anyone else? Oh, wow. Are there no other questions?
I did have one more question.
Okay,
So to
please
confirm,
ask.
so this is Mandy. So to confirm, there is no union affiliated cohort or coaching groups associated with this process.
At this time, we do not have one, but we are collaborating with the Texas National Board Coalition. So what we do is we refer our members to the Texas National Board Coalition because they have a full program. And they have a team of national board certified teachers that can more effectively walk you through the process. We did have one in the state, and in the Houston area, I led that one. But one of the issues that we ran into is that, everyone has a different certification. So by going to the Texas National Board Coalition, they have a team of people that are certified, and it'll be more likely that they'll have the certification that you have and will be able to give you appropriate guidance. So that's why at this time we don't have one, but we may do one in the future. we're working on that. Any other questions?
There's one more. It says if you do it in Spanish, will the writing be in Spanish or English?
That is a good question. You know what? I will definitely ask. About 4 years ago, when that question was asked, the teacher was told that they will be writing in English, but there will have to be some parts in Spanish. They did not give us the specifics as to which those parts were, but I will definitely have the answer to that question in the follow-up.
So one question, I don't know if it's in the links that was posted, because I'm navigating through on my phone, so it's kind of
Okay, no
difficult
worries.
to
So you're
go
gonna
back
get
and forth.
everything. Yeah, we're gonna give you everything. Do not worry. We understand. What is your question?
So the question is that if you choose to get certified, let's say in RLA, the content that the course that you're going to go through and the content, is it will it cover K to 12? So for example, if I am EC to 6, once I take the national board certification, will I be able to teach 4 to 8 and 9 to 12? Does that cover that? Or you still have
It
to
will,
do the
or you will have to do what? I'm sorry.
will you have to still get certified by grade level to teach RLA in middle and high school?
Okay, got you. So you would have to look at, we did share let me find it. Maybe I can show it so we can look at it together. Give me 1 second. Let me see, certification areas. I think this is the one. Okay, so let me share this so we can look at it together. So we share this document. If you don't have it, like I said, don't worry, we're gonna share the document with all the links. So these are the certification areas. And if you look at the top of it, it says student age range. If you look at the top right, it will give you the age range. And then if you look at the developmental level, it will say early adolescence or middle childhood. But then the age range would be at the top. And it would depend on what certificate. You said English language arts? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I used that as an example. It could be math, it could be science, but I used that as an example.
Got you. So if you look at this chart, it says English language arts, and you have 2 options for that certification. So early adolescence and adolescence and young adulthood. And then it would be ages 11 through 15 and 14 through 18.
Okay, thank you.
Can you see this? Okay, you're welcome.
Yes,
and then,
exactly.
like I said, you're getting this link. We're sharing that one pager with all the links. So you're gonna have this on that page. Okay, wonderful. Any other questions or comments? One of the things that I intended to mention, it just came to my mind now. When you're looking at the steps to becoming a certified teacher and you go to the National Board website, it tells you there to pay the $75 to register and then to go and choose your certification and do other things. So I have been doing info sessions for about 5 years now. And this is only a suggestion because you know yourself, of course, better than I know you. So usually we recommend that you choose your certification and you do not register and pay those $75 until you are sure, because those $75 are non-refundable. So that is something that I always tell everyone just to consider, to waiting on that last part. But again, you know yourself more than I do, so I know you can make the right decision for yourself. Any other questions before we close for the evening? And we're at 6:59.
Hi, I do have one question. This is Marlena, and I was wondering, hi, if you're already designated, I just want to confirm that if we're already designated on our campus and we go through the national board certification process, and we are we getting 2 stipends, or I just want to make sure, are we getting both? Because
Okay.
I wasn't clear about that.
Okay, no, totally understand. So you have a designation from your district already that doesn't include a national board certification.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to make sure I understand. So according to the presentation, you should, and let me pull that up so we can look at it together. Give me 1 second. That's a great question. Give me 1 second. There was okay, I think I found it. Okay, I just need to share it. Okay. So according to this slide, and this is the information that comes from TEA. So if you have a local designation that is higher than just having a national board designation, you're going to get the higher designation. So it says the higher designation will take precedence. So what I understand by this, and that is a great question, it is my understanding that the higher your designation, the more money that you get as a stipend, or that you should get as a stipend. So if you have, let's say, an exemplary or a master, which is higher than, just having a national board certification, you're going to get the money tied to that designation. And I will definitely follow up and ask specifics on that, just in case that wasn't the correct response. Remember that things do change rapidly, like teacher incentive allotment, they did make some changes like about a year ago. And sometimes they make changes and we don't always hear about them right away. So I will definitely ask and make sure I include the correct answer on the follow-up, or the most recent answer on the follow-up. But that was my understanding on it. Any other questions?
So just a follow-up. So through the National Board of Certification, are they only giving out recognized, or are they giving out exemplary and master?
So no, great question. According to the information that we have from TIA, or from the designation system, if you look here, if you have the national board certification, you are automatically recognized. So national board is the first level, is the recognized level. Did that answer your question?
It does, and
Okay.
yes, it answers my question.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, okay. So someone wrote, Yolanda, you said you went from exemplary to recognized. Can you tell us more about that? Were you went from exemplary from your district designation system to recognized because you became a national board certified teacher?
No, I'm not national board. I'm actually in the middle of starting mine this year. So this fall I'll be doing. I'm gonna try to do it all in 1 year because I just don't want to have to wait for 2. But if I don't, then I'll do it in 2.
Okay.
But before they had a legislation session that changed it, it was exemplary. If you had national board, you were considered exemplary because it was supposed to be a higher standard. But due to politics and everything, it got dropped to recognize. And so your district now and CCIC, at least in CCIC, we're only considered to be recognized if you have a national board.
No, thank you. Okay, now I understand. Yes, and you are right on point, because that is exactly what this slide that we just looked at, says. This is kind comes from TEA, in, you know, as they collaborate, TA and TIA. So this came from TEA, and that's with a national board certification, you are you get a recognized designation. And yes, I totally agree that it should be higher. It should be the highest if you know have a national board. But again, those are the things that Texas AFT advocates for.
So the legislation is, remember, the legislature is going to start meeting in January, you guys. This is our chance to advocate to get that
Yes,
restored.
ma'am.
So
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
we need to be part of our professional organizations, and we need to be vocal.
Thank you, Dixie. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Anything else? We are at 7:05. So if you do not have any other questions, this session was supposed to end at 7. Please feel free to enjoy your evening. Have a wonderful dinner. Do something that makes you happy. Again, I thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to complete that evaluation because it's so important. We really want to make these sessions better. If you can think of any other questions, you will receive an email from me. Just make sure that you send me an email. I will follow up on your questions, include those in the follow-up in the next few days, and provide you with the answers. And then if you can think of anything else, just make sure that you reach out. I will definitely add my email in the chat so that everyone can save it if you need it. But other than that, if you have to go, please do not hesitate. Have a great evening. I'll stay around a few more minutes just in case anyone has any other questions. So thank you again.
Drop the the whole sheet, or they're just going to get emailed out to them?
Oh, you can share the link to the whole sheet of links, if that's okay. Thank you so much for asking and reminding me about that. So the page with all the links that we talked about today, it's in the chat. Okay, anything else? Oh, you're welcome, Coach Sanders. Thank you for coming and spending your evening with me. Well, if there are no other questions or comments, we are done, everyone. Thank you again. I appreciate you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. You want to pause or stop your recording?